let's shift and talk about now some money moves that we're making. So here's some more headlines. Have you heard about Uber's upcoming IPO? I'm sure you have. It's drawing a lot of excitement. Now, I've talked to some people that were like, oh, I wish I could have been one of the first investors. I really would have made a lot of money. But I love this about IPOs. It gives us a chance to own a piece of the pie. However, I'm a little concerned. I have a little complicated relationship with Uber, and I feel like they have a complicated relationship with not only women employees, but also the riders who have had all types of situations occur, and I'll leave it at that. I don't want to say anything that's going to get us sued. So it's been in the news, right? We've seen all these different headlines. Should women invest? What are your thoughts? Are you investing in Uber? What do you think about when they drop their IPO?
I personally feel like you have to decide what's important to you. You have to decide, are the values of this company what is important to me, or is the value of the dollar that I can make off this company what's important to me? And I know that I may get some flack for feeling that way because everyone has their opinions about it, but I just feel like, just like we were talking about partnerships, you have to do your homework. And if you feel like you're going to invest in a company that maybe has some different views than you may or may not have, that's your choice and it's on you. It's also on you to make sure that you do your homework, because you could also invest in a company early on that you think you have the same views and then find out later that they don't have the same views or values, or when companies change hands and all sorts of things. So I feel like you just really have to do your homework and you have to decide what's more important to you.
To an earlier conversation we're having, that when you go in and you believe in something, and if you did choose this, you've got to be willing to be there in the good times and the bad. Because while it may be the hype of the day and the pick of the day or what have you, long term, now you're talking to the real estate agent here, and I mean, Gallup poll after Gallup poll continues to say that real estate is the best long-term investment by like 34%. Stocks are like 26%. Then it goes down. Gold's even better than some of the others, in saving accounts. So, if you ask me as a real estate professional who's done this 25 years, I tend to prefer more of the steady, traditional approach. Might diversify a little bit here and there because I do think that's important. But I like to go with what I can trust, and also a little bit of what I can't always control the real estate market, it's cyclicalness. I know over the course of history that has proven to be something incredible, but it also goes back to my values, that I know whether it's a rental property that I'm helping put someone in, or in my own investment, or building back in communities, that's my passion. And so I feel good investing in real estate because I know it, I trust it, and I can ride it in the cyclicalness that anything's going to have.
I love it. Jasmine, any thoughts on that?
I don't think I have anything to add. I think your girls covered that pretty good. I think it's really about just trusting your gut and making the right moves.
I agree. I'm definitely, anytime I invest, whether it's in stocks or anything, I really do try to line up with my values. I don't want to sell myself out for a buck, right? So believe it or not, I actually don't use Uber. I take either Lyft or Super Shuttle when I'm traveling, because I didn't like a lot of stances that Uber had. So I don't know that I'm going to jump in on the investment side with them, at least not now. And I do feel like there's enough out there,
Other options.
where
have to
it's not going to break me. It's not a deal breaker. I do want to ask you, since we're talking about stocks and different things, Pinterest has a stock coming up. But even outside of the stock arena, are you guys using Pinterest for marketing? Let me give you some stats before we jump into that. I know. We're like, no, not really. So here was the interesting thing. I saw this actually this morning. Their mission is to bring everyone the inspiration to create a life they love. The opportunities for Pinterest: 80% of U.S. women ages 18 to 64, have children use it. That's kind of a big deal. So do over half of millennials. And that combo really does set a trend, right? And then they said, but here's the challenge with Pinterest. It's a social network for positivity. And social networks, they're funded, they create their income through ads, like we know with Facebook and Google. So unfortunately, the bigwigs are saying that Pinterest doesn't really have a sustainable model, right, for income and growth. They're saying it's, even if you look at Snap, it's having problems because of it's not really based on an ad platform. So what are your thoughts, whether from the stock side or really just the marketing? Do you use it for marketing? What do you use for marketing? Let's talk about that.
So I am a big social media person. Personally, I love it. I think it's great to connect people. I feel like Pinterest personally doesn't give you an opportunity to really capture someone's, you can't capture them in the moment, because when someone goes to Pinterest, I've used Pinterest too myself. I think it's a great place to go
To
and
find recipes.
to find recipes and to find a few little workouts. But here's the thing, when I personally use Pinterest, I never sit down to use Pinterest with the intent of spending more than a couple of minutes, because I just want to save a few things to my board to go back later. So you're not going to capture me in that moment to try to convince me to spend my dollar on what it is that you want me to spend my dollar on.
Or to build a relationship.
Exactly, or to build that
Back to
relationship.
that word relationship.
Because I'm not there for that relationship. I'm there to save some stuff that I might go back later to honestly get some ideas. I may not even use the products that I'm saving. I'm just getting ideas to then go later. But I feel like some of the other platforms like Instagram or Facebook, they give you an opportunity to do video, to do sound, to do clips, to do all sorts of things, targeted ads that you're, as a person that's spending the dollar on marketing to try to gain new people, I want to make sure that my marketing dollar is being spent the best way possible. And I would choose to use a platform that's going to capture them right away. So for me personally, I don't use Instagram other than I may have a friend that I'm hosting a baby shower for, so I need to hurry up and save some good ideas on Pinterest to save. And honestly, I then go back later and send them to my good friend, and I'm like, hey, I found this stuff on Instagram, so here's my ideas. So I personally would say no, I wouldn't use Instagram, or I wouldn't use Pinterest as a platform for marketing, or that I would really choose to invest in personally.
I get it. You know, one other fun fact they had here, 88% of pinners, people that use Pinterest, purchase a product that they pin. They said 88%. I don't know where that stat came from, because back to your point, Paige, I've used it and I have pins. I have never purchased anything, but you know.
But this interesting statistics you shared, Lee, is about that 80% of U.S. women age 18 to 64, myself, with children, the children in my world are who are using it. And I do monitor my children on social media, and I don't allow them to have accounts, but Pinterest is one that my daughter has wanted. And so she has come to me with decorating her room or things she has wanted for her chair or whatever it was. And so I had to kind of be open-minded that that's where her exploration in her world is. And someone has figured out how to target it to a different generation than I would ever have used. And of course now my dollars could be spent because she's got some great. So hats off. But it will be interesting. Back to the other point when we started out today talking about headliners and head spinners, and when the media is going to make the headliner have something tragic or ousting this or controversial or racy or whatever. Pinterest is just feel good.
Yeah.
And
More
will
than
that
fuzzy.
sustain? I love feel good, but will that sustain in today's world of marketeers?
It's anybody's call. We'll see. I don't know.
I'd also be curious just how long that stat, like how far back they've gone, because nowadays with so many different social networking, social media platforms, they have the I don't know what's it called, where you can purchase through Amazon immediately from something that you see your phone recognizes it. So I would be curious if there's going to be stats on other companies that are catching up, and maybe this is just their first year in using those apps where people can buy things automatically.
It's gonna probably purchase it without you even pushing a button. It's just
Right.
gonna reach
No,
out.
it's gonna reach
And I'm
out.
gonna go, okay, she wants that. Send
That-
to
that fluffy chairs that
Right.
show up at your door. You're like, what?
But I think that Pinterest may be harder for people that are providing a service. We sell money.
Right.
It's really hard to
Right.
put that, but
Right.
if I was selling really pretty necklaces or rings
Good
or
point.
something like that,
Right.
if I had a product, I
Good
think
point.
Pinterest would be, because I know when we bought our building, we were decorating it, I had boards, and my decorator, she loved the fact that I had a gajillion boards, because then very quickly she could realize, like, okay, this is your style, this is what you want, this is what you want to see, as opposed to me saying, well, I kind of like the light blue, not the dark, So I feel like depending on your industry, Pinterest maybe we're all sort of
It's a little bit of a niche, I feel like, because it's the feel good, the decorating, the quick fixes to things and stuff like that. So
But don't you like it when somebody repins something you
Oh,
pin?
absolutely. Oh my gosh,
Made you feel good.
Right, it does. It really does.
which is important.
Today, actually, so
Well, ladies, I will stop our discussion here. I thank you so much for being on this week's board of directors. So until next time.